So, dear students, so today our topic is autonomic nervous system. So, during the introductions, you already know regarding the nervous system. So, it is mainly divided into two parts, that is the CNS, central nervous system, and as well as the autonomic nervous system. CNS, it consists of brain and spinal cord and cranial nerves. Okay, that is brain and the spinal nerves. They are comes under CNS. So CNS is the main part of our body. It can regulate the all body functions. Okay, so without CNS, except heart, so heart function individually it can be work, but remaining organ part functions or system functions, so that was mainly depending upon the central nervous system. So another nervous system part, that is the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so that autonomic nervous systems, it mainly consists of the two system, that is the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So this ANS, it is also work under the direction of the central nervous systems or brain. So brain, it was also control the functions of the organs. So were also some parts of the brain, so they having the capability to regulate the autonomic nervous system function. And autonomic nervous systems is mainly two part or it consists of two system. One is the parasympathetic nervous system and another one is the sympathetic nervous system. So in both system, so the maximum condition, they work in the opposite directions. For example, one system increase the organ function means another system decrease the organ functions. So like that, so brain, it can control the overactivity of the organ and as well as it can boost the organ to work. So with the help of the autonomic nervous system or with the help of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So in this image you can see, so this is the sympathetic activity. Okay, that is known as the fight or flight, and in this side you can see the rest and digest. Okay, sympathetic activity, it is known as the fight or flight. Any emergency, so there is need to boost the organ function. So where, so this sympathetic activity is activated, so that's why it was known as the fight or flight system. It is one like a accelerator to the our car. So already you know accelerator, so how it is can increase the speed of our bike or our car. So like that, sympathetic activity, it can accelerate to the body or accelerate the organs. So that's why if it is active means all organ functions can be active or more, we can easily target the that site by increasing the speed of our car like that. So whatever the is there, that was fulfilled by this system, that is sympathetic nervous system. So that's what is known as the fight or flight. In image you can see a snake is following him, he can run away, and during the running of the body, so on that time we required more blood circulation, nutrition in the leg. Okay, so and blood pressure increases by sympathetic nervous system only. So that's why the sympathetic nervous system here, it is helpful for fight or flight. And as well as, so as the muscle activity increases, ATP more required, then and as well as it is required the more carbohydrates, that is also supplied by the sympathetic nervous system. So that's why, so this system was known as the fight or flight. It is one type of the accelerator to the core of our body. Okay, and it is the next that opposite system, that is the parasympathetic activity or parasympathetic nervous system. It is completely maximum cases it is completely opposite to sympathetic. It can decrease the all organ activity when it is active. Okay, brain or ANS, that automatically can switch off either this one followed by that one followed by this one. Okay, so that's why, so this system was known as rest and digest. It means It is helpful for to rest the organ and whatever digestive functions are there. So that was regulated by the parasympathetic nervous system and brain and autonomic nervous system. It can balances the both system. If both systems are balanced, then only we are healthy. Okay, if any systems, if it is abnormal, work more than other systems abnormally work, so then only we are suffering from the various kind of the disorder. For example, blood pressure. Okay, if both systems work simultaneously one by one, as per the need, okay, as per the change in the environment of the blood vessels, that regarding the blood pressure, then our blood pressure is normal. Instead of parasympathetic, if the sympathetic actually will work more means, then we are suffering from the hypertension. If instead of sympathetic, the parasympathetic will be more means, then we are suffering from the hypotension. So like that, the various disorders, so that are occurs in the imbalance or produces imbalance between these two. So that's why this system is always balances. Some conditions are there is a lack of sleep or many condition, a lack of certain nutritions or hormones, vitamins, then the system is abnormal. So then only we are changing the daily routine life. Okay, anytime you can go for sleep, anytime you can awake up, you can utilizing the more mobiles. So these all are okay. So there this is uncontrolled abnormal activities of the body. So that was responsible to the imbalances of the autonomic nervous system. So that's why, so always you should be have the regular routine activities in the regular time only. You can follow the biological clock of the body. So that was known as the circadian rhythms. So according to that, your following means you are free from the all kind of the disorders. Okay, so what time you require to take the food means that according to that clock that was known as the biological clock of the body, or even that was known as circadian rhythms. You can go through the Google, you search it, so you can note down on that time. They will be tell this is the time for liver, this is the time for lungs, this is the time for heart, this is the time for that organ, this is the time for GIT. Like that they're told. So they also they suggest that what time you can take the rest, what time you can take the sports, what time take you can learn, what time you can go for sleep, what time you can awake up, what time. So that like that clock will be mentioned. You can go through that one, you follow that one, or also you can insist to your parents or family member follow that one, then definitely, so those people, so they are always healthy. So this is your first work as a PharmD first year candidate. You go through the biological clock and read down, follow if and adopt that system. So in your family, then your family always free from the future disorders. And already whatever disorder disease exist, so they also day by day, so they will be the decreases. You can going through the positive things. Already if they having a diabetic means there is uncontrolled sugar level means automatically that will be the controlled. If they are high blood pressure means automatically the blood pressure was the normalized. Even in some years after, so doctor will be told to that candidate you should be stop the medications. Okay, they will say definitely surely. So they will be tell. So like that, if you are following that biological clock, so that was balances the various systems along with the autonomic nervous system. So then we are free from the various kind of the disorder. So now we can go for the introductions regarding the autonomic nervous systems are sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So autonomic nervous systems is it is a made up of two branches are categorized into two branches, that is the sympathetic nervous system and as well as the parasympathetic nervous systems. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous systems, it was located between the spinal cord and medulla. So whatever the parasympathetic nerves are there, okay, so once again here nerves are there. That is parasympathetic nerve fibers and sympathetic nerve fibers because it is the nervous system. Nervous system means it was related to the nerves. It is also having its own nerve. So stimulations of that nerve, the organ functions can be modified. So those are belongs to the parasympathetic nervous system. So those are known as the parasympathetic nerve fibers. Okay, and those are work under the directions of sympathetic nervous system means, and those nerves are known as the sympathetic nerve fibers. So once again, so that nervous systems, it will be having the two types of nerves. Okay, so that is the, suppose it is example for parasympathetic nervous system. So this is known as the ganglia. Ganglia nothing but junctions of the neurons. Okay, so before those nerves are there, for example of this system, okay, I'm telling about parasympathetic nervous systems. So before junction, so whatever the nerves are there, so those are known as the pre-parasympathetic nerves fiber. Okay, so whatever the nerves exist after ganglia, okay, so those nerves are here, it is the organ site. Okay, so those nerves are the post parasympathetic nerve fibers. So regarding sympathetic nervous systems, same, before ganglia, so those are known as pre-sympathetic nerve fibers. So after ganglia, so that was known as post sympathetic nerve fibers. And pre-sympathetic nerve fibers, so their nucleus or control systems. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, so they are located between the spinal cord and medulla. And regarding the sympathetic nervous system, so those nuclei, so those are regulated near the thoracic lumbar region of the spinal cord. So their control system, that was known as the nuclei. For parasympathetic, so they are arises near the spinal cord and medulla. And here the sympathetic nervous system, so they are located near the thoracic and lumbar regions of the spinal cord. So regarding the PN, that is the PSNS, parasympathetic nervous systems, so they are present arises the nerve fibers, so they are arises from the brain stem and as well as the S2 to S4 segment, that is spinal cord S1 or vertebral column, that is S2 sacral, S2, S3, S4. So where, so these parasympathetic nerve fibers can be arises from the spinal cord. So this is the exact location. So where their nuclei can be arises. Some they arises from the brainstem and some nuclei, okay, so they are arises from the S2 to S4 segments of the spinal cord. So regarding the sympathetic nervous system, so the cell bodies consist of the lateral gray column of the T1, that is thoracic bone 1, to lumbar bone 2 or 3. So the between them, so these nerve fibers, regarding sympathetic nerve fibers, their nuclei can be consist, so they are arises. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, the nuclei from the brain stems or arises or comes under the parasympathetic nervous systems are oculomotor nerve, that is the candle nerve 3, ocula, it can control the oculations or visions. Then that is the facial nerve, that is the candle nerve 7, it can control the functions of lacrimal, nasal, palatine, pharyngeal, sublingual and submandibular glands function. Then it is also consist of the canal nerve, comes under the passive nervous system, is a glossopharyngeal nerve, the canal nerve 9, it can control the functions of the parotid glands or its secretion. Then it is also consist of the vagus nerve, that is the canal nerve 10, it can uh, control the organ functions like a heart, larynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs, liver, gallbladder, stomach, pancreas, kidney, small intestine, then proximal, large intestines. So these nerves comes under the or work under the directions of parasympathetic nervous system. So they are arises from the brainstem and inverted in the effector organs of these respective organs. So in this system, parasympathetic nervous system, it can control the functions of the, so these organs. And some nerve fibers, So they are arises from the S2 to S4 segments of the spinal cord. So due to that reason, the parasympathetic nervous system is also known as a craniosacral division. Okay, it is also known as a craniosacral divisions. So regarding the sympathetic nervous systems, so the preganglionic, okay, so preganglionic nerve fibers, so they are arises from the respective 12 thoracic bones from the spinal cord, and first two from the, that is the lumbar segments or lumbar bones, along with lumbar, the vertebral column along in the both side, the spinal cord is there. From there, so these sympathetic nerve fiber nuclei can be arises. So that's why, so sympathetic nervous systems nerve fibers, so they are arises from the only thoracic and lumbar region. So that's why it is known as the thoracic thoracolumbar division or thoracolumbar outflow is nothing but sympathetic nervous system. It is named because, so whatever the nerve fibers are comes under the sympathetic nervous system, so their nuclei or arises from the spinal cord from the side of the thoracic and as well as the lumbar bones. So that's why these systems was known as the thoracico-lumbar divisions. And here the parasympathetic nervous system, it was known as the craniosacral division because it nerves comes under the parasympathetic nervous system. They are arises from the cranium, that is regarding the brainstem, as well as sacral segment or sacral region. Due to that reason, so this parasympathetic nervous system was known as a craniosacral division. So that sympathetic is known as a thoracolumbar divisions or outflow. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, it was known as the rest and digest. So if you rest, you are under rest means, so on that time the parasympathetic nervous systems can be activate, then you can guard the sleep. Okay, and as well as in the rest only the digestion power will be more, and digestion, for digestions of the food we require the certain secretions, certain gastric secretions or hormones that was also secreted by the parasympathetic nervous system. So due to that reason it was known as the rest and digest. Okay, so regarding the sympathetic nervous system, so it was known as a fight or flight system. So during emergency, so we required glucose. During emergency, we required more and more oxygen or more activities. So that was regulated by sympathetic nervous system. During emergency or stress, we required protections of the organ. And adrenaline, that is epinephrine, it is a hormone of sympathetic nervous system. It can act as a anti-stress hormone. Okay, so that's why it is known as the fight or flight system. And here the parasympathetic nervous system, it was known as rest and digest systems. So without parasympathetic nervous systems or malfunctions of parasympathetic nervous system, the persons can be survived. But the failure of the sympathetic nervous systems, the persons cannot be survived more than 36 or 48 hours. If this system was failed means within 48 hours the persons can be die or death can be confirmed due to the failure of the sympathetic nervous. So that's why the sympathetic nervous systems is known as a fight and or flight nervous system or systems. It is the most important. So regarding the neurotransmitters, so the sympathetic nervous system, the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine in both conditions. That is the pre-ganglionic regions as well as the post-ganglionic regions. In both condition, the neurotransmitter is a acetylcholine. So some changes is occurs here in the nuclei. Okay, so that message can carry toward the ganglia. Okay, so that is the role of the acetylcholine. From here to the organ, that is the post ganglion nerve fiber, they can carried. So with the help of the acetylcholine. So here the acetylcholine will be releases. It consists of the message. Okay, so that message I will be act on the organ, then it can modify the functions of organ. So that's why. So in the passive nervous system, in both side pre and post ganglionic region, that was the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. But in the case of the sympathetic nervous systems, so in the pre nerve fiber, the neurotransmitter is the acetylcholine. In the post fiber or post sympathetic nerve fiber, the neurotransmitter is a noradrenalines. Okay, it means the activations of sympathetic nervous system is also depending upon the parasympathetic nervous system due to the release of the acetylcholine. So this is the regarding the autonomic nervous systems are differentiations between the parasympathetic nervous systems and as well as the sympathetic nervous system. So now we can concentrate regarding the effect on the organ. So after the stimulations of the autonomic nervous systems are the stimulations of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So when they are stimulated, what will be the happens in the different organs? So that will be learn from the this image. Okay, so first we in the left hand side, so that is the red color, that is the sympathetic nervous system. So the main neurotransmitters are the norepinephrine and epinephrine, also known as the norepinephrine's. It is also known as the noradrenaline. Adrenaline is also the neurotransmitters of the sympathetic nervous system, but that was secreted from the adrenal medulla. But with this norepinephrine, it was secreted from the central nervous system. So that's what is considered as the neurotransmitters for the sympathetic nervous system. So regarding parasympathetic nervous system, so the acetylcholine is a main neurotransmitters. Okay, so that was located in the right side of the your slide. In the left side, so that is the regarding the sympathetic nervous system, and right side, that is the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system consists of the neurotransmitter like acetylcholine, and sympathetic nervous system is consist of a neurotransmitter norepinephrine. So regarding the first effect on the eye, okay, so in the eye, if the sympathetic nervous system activate, mean the mydriasis is occurs. Okay, mydriasis is a condition where the pupil size is increases. Okay, it is the conditions where the pupil size is increases. If the pupil size increases, means then only we can see the far regions or long images. Okay, for seeing the long images or far region where it is required the dilatations of the pupil, so that was activated by the sympathetic nerve system, and that phenomena or condition is occurs in the eye, that was known as the mydriasis, that is the dilatations of the pupils. Okay, so if you can see the far visions, it means if you are easily clearly we can see in the longer images, means it indicates the sympathetic nervous system is activate. If you are not seeing the far regions, okay, so if drowsiness is present in the images for seeing, it indicates the malfunctions of the sympathetic nervous system. So then the doctor they give the medication for the problem in the far vision. So those belongs to the, are they, those can activate the or act as a sympathetic nervous system. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, if it is activated, it means the meiosis is occurs. Meiosis means the constrictions of the pupil size is decreases. Okay, so pupil size is decreases, then only we can see the near visions. Okay, then only you can see the note in your hand, currency in your hand. Okay, if you're not seeing currency in your hand, means it indicate there is a problem in the meiosis or there is a problem in the parasympathetic nervous system. Due to failure of that, the meiosis does not occur. So due to lack of meiosis, we cannot see the near visions. So that is the problems related to the malfunctions of the parasympathetic nervous system. If it is fully activate, it is fully normal, then easily we can see the near vision. So here this is the ganglia. Okay, so this is the ganglia. Okay, so this is the ganglia and sympathetic nervous system. So this is the ganglia. Okay, it is a is its nerve is arises from the spinal cord, that is the thoracic to lumbar, and it is the its nerve, it arises from the brainstem and as well as the sacral regions. Okay, so from the image it is also indicated. Okay, so next one, so on the saliva, so already know saliva is required for the digestions of the food in the oral cavity. Okay, so they are secreted from the certain gland, and those gland are known as the salivary gland. Okay, so those secrete the saliva. So those saliva required for the digestions of the food in the oral cavity, because saliva, it mainly consists of the salivary amylase, salivary lipids, and those are play an important role in the digestions of the food in the oral cavity. Okay, so here regarding the sympathetic nervous system, it can reduce the watery secretion in the saliva. Okay, so in your oral cavity, you have the watery secretion during the digestions. Okay, saliva is secreted. Okay, that saliva containing water as well as the enzymes. So that watery secretion, so this system is reduces. But water enzymes are present in saliva, so this system can activate it. Okay, so regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, it can enhance the watery secretions in the saliva, but there is no rule on the enzymes. Okay, only it can enhance the watery secretion. So like that, both systems, so they are participate in the digestion. So regarding the heart, so sympathetic nervous system, it can increases the heart rate and force of contraction as well as the stroke volume. Okay, so regarding parasympathetic nervous system, it can decreases the heart rate. Okay, this system decreases heart rate by causing accumulations of potassium, and this system increase the heart rate by causing accumulations of calcium. Okay, so this system decrease heart rate, this system increase heart rate. So they like, due to the presence of these two system, so they can control the functions of the heart. If the functions of the heart is decreases, then our brain activate the sympathetic nervous system. If the heart rate is more than normal, then the brain can activate the heart. Then the sorry say passive nervous system, automatically the heart rate is decreases. So like that, both systems are, if they are balances means the organ functions are balances, if they are abnormal means the organ functions will be the abnormal. So like that, the passive nervous system is responsible for to decrease the heart rate by causing the accumulations of the calcium. So while the sympathetic nervous system, it can increases the heart rate and stroke volume by causing the accumulations of the calcium. So regarding the blood vessels, so in this side there is no they are not mentioning blood vessels, still we can study. So activations of sympathetic nervous system, the blood vessels are, the diameter of blood vessels are decreases. So that phenomena was known as the vasoconstriction. Okay, that is the decrease the diameters of the blood vessel is known as the vasoconstriction. And due to activations of the sympathetic nervous system, the vasoconstriction is occurs and the blood pressure is increases. So regarding parasympathetic nervous system, it can cause the bronchodilatations. Okay, that is increase the size of the blood vessels. So due to that, the blood pressure is decreases. So like that, the both systems, so they are responsible for the regulations of the blood pressure also. So when blood pressure is drop or decreases, automatically the brain can activate the sympathetic nervous system, and that sympathetic nervous system, it causes the vasoconstrictions of the blood vessel and the blood pressure is increases. So regarding sympathetic nervous system, it is activated and blood pressure when the blood pressure is more than normal, the blood pressure more than normal, so then this system is activated by the CNS or autonomic nervous system. Then this activation of this system, it can causes the vasodilatation, that is the increase the size of the diameters of the blood vessel, then the blood pressure can be drop or decreases. So next one regarding the on the GIT. Okay, so sympathetic nervous system, it was decrease the peristalsis and secretion. The peristalsis is the wave-like movement. They are present at GIT. Okay, that is the wave-like movement. They are present in the GIT. So this movement was helpful for the, okay, the movement of the food, digested food, one from one place to the another place, from stomach to the rectums, by passing through duodenum, jejunum, ileum, large intestine. So like that. So the food will be movement in our GIT tract. So that movement of the food is depending upon certain movements though are present. So that movement was known as the peristalsis movement. Okay, so sympathetic nervous system, it can decrease the peristalsis movement as well as secretion. Okay, secretion nothing but digestive secretion from the stomach, from the that is the pancreas, from the gallbladder, from the large intestinal gland or intestinal gland. So those all secretion decreases. So that's why this system is responsible for the maldigestions, and as well as this system is responsible to cause of the constipation by decreasing the peristalsis movement. So regarding the parasympathetic nervous system, it can stimulate the peristalsis movement and as well as secretion. So that's why this system, parasympathetic nervous system, was known as the rest and digest system because it enhances the secretion as well as the movement of the food in the GIT. So that was helpful for the digestion or mix up the food with the digestive juice and as well as absorption and as well as the movement. So that's why, so this system, it can participate in the digestions by stimulating the peristalsis and secretion. If it is more activate, it means automatically the diarrhea is occurs. If the parasympathetic nervous system is more active, it means the diarrhea is occurs. If the sympathetic nervous system activity is more, mean the digestion is decreases. Also, the constipation is occurs. Okay, so next one. So regarding the effect on the liver. Okay, so this system, that is regarding the first, that is the sympathetic nervous system, it can convert the glycogen into glucose. But here this system, that is passive nervous system, it can stimulate the bile release. Okay, so next one, so regarding the that is a gallbladder, sorry, gallbladder, only bladder, urinary bladder. So sympathetic nervous system, it inhibits the bladder contraction. If the bladder contraction is do not occurs, means the micturition or urine outflow do not produces. Okay, so this sympathetic nervous system, it can inhibit the excretions of the urine by inhibition of the bladder contraction. But regarding the sympathetic nervous system, it can cause the bladder contraction, then it can produce the urine outflow as well as the micturations. That is the urine outflow is technically it was known as the micturation. So regarding the lungs, so sympathetic nervous system, it can cause the bronchodilation, that was helpful for the respirations, or that was helpful for to avoid the asthma. Okay, so that's why. So this sympathetic nervous system, it mainly cause the bronchodilation. Then it can helpful for the exchange of the oxygen and carbon dioxide, that of the blood with the lungs, lungs with the blood. So that was due to bronchodilation, that was occur. So that's why the sympathetic nervous system, it can shows the bronchodilation, that was helpful for to avoid the asthma. So regarding the, this is the parasympathetic nervous system, it can cause the bronchoconstriction. So that's why this system was involved in the to cause of asthma, and this system involved in the to avoid of the asthma. So like that, the both systems, so they are work in the opposite direction, then they are helpful for the regulations of the various organ functions. Our brain can keep the normal the our functions with the help of the activating, so any one of the system according to the conditions of the organs. Okay, so like that, dear students, so our brain, our autonomic nervous system, it can control the functions of the organs. Okay, so these all organ functions, so when they are active, okay, especially the lungs are active in the 9, that is sorry, in the night time 11 o'clock, 11 to 12. Okay, so after that certain spleen, large intestine, like that, so they are active. So in the morning the stomach is active. So like that, so that was mentioned in the one clock, that is the that was known as the biological clock. Okay, so on that word also they can mention what, when, what can you do. So when we can take the sports, when we can take the food, when we can take the rest. So when we take the exercise, when we take the more water, when we take the less water, like that everything. So that was mentioned in the biological clock. Okay, if you follow that clock, okay, if you're following that clock means, so these all organ functions are normal, then we are free from the all kind of the disorder. First you learn that clock, know down that clock. Okay, so according to what problems you are facing your parents. Okay, if your parent facing the lungs problem means, so you see when lung functions are improved or more, when lungs is involved in the detoxification. So dear students, as per my knowledge, so detoxification from the lungs, that is the excel of the waste material, toxic from the lungs. In the daytimes, the lungs are involved in the inspiration expressions. So due to that time, certain toxicants are produced in the lungs. Okay, but those are detoxifies or exhaled only in the after 11 o'clock. I think 11 to 12 o'clock. Okay, so where the lungs itself, it was involved in the cleaning of its environment, like that we are cleaning our home daily in the morning only. Okay, we are cleaning our home, so like that our organs are also involved in the cleaning process, that particular time only. Okay, but nowadays we are, what are we doing? So we are not got the sleep 11 o'clock, we are got in the sleep at 1 o'clock or after 12 o'clock, but detoxification of lungs is stop. Okay, lungs का detoxification stop हो रहा है because we are active. We are active means we record oxygen, then lungs will fail to itself to clear, it can fail to manage our activities because it can got the direction from the brain. So that's why, so those are do not got the sleep before 11 o'clock, those people only they are suffering from the bronchial asthma or lungs related disorders. Okay, so that's why I suggest to you, so first you read that clock, understand that clock, according to that only you can follow yourself also, because your health is also index of the practice. If you are looking healthy means the patients are feel I follow these guys suggestion, then I also become like that only. Okay, for example, space. So now we can go for certain relevant topics of the nervous system, so that was asked in the examination, as well as so that was required for the knowledge purpose. Okay, so first one is the neurotransmitters. Okay, so in the daily life, during the practice or during the study or research, we can heard the names regarding the study of the mechanism of the drug, you can heard the names regarding the neurotransmitters. So that's why I take this topic that is relevant to the nervous system. So dear students, the neurotransmitters are the chemical substances. Okay, so they are synthesized from the neuron itself. Okay, those are synthesized from the neurons. So they are protein in nature, definitely, of course. Every enzymes, every hormones, every chemicals, so they are made up of the proteins. Okay, so that's why, no, no doubt the neurotransmitters are also the proteins in natures. So these are the chemical, so those are involved in the transmissions of the message or information from neuron to the target organs by crossing through the synapse or by crossing through the ganglia and such chemicals. So those are involved in the transmissions of the informations from brain or part of the brain to the effector site or organ, and such chemicals are known as the neurotransmitters. So many chemicals are there, so they transmit the message, but those are not a neurotransmitter, those are the that is the neuromodulators. But those substance, though are synthesized in the neuron and involved in the transmissions of message, such substance is only neurotransmitters. But those substances, so they are synthesized from the brain tissues, are part of the brain, are parts of our body, but they are involved in the transmissions of the informations message from brain to the organ or organ to the brain, and those are known as the neuromodulators. The difference between neuromodulator and neurotransmitter means neurotransmitters and neuromodulators both are involved in the transmissions of message, but neurotransmitter, so they are synthesized in the neuron, and neuromodulator, apart from the neuron, they are synthesized, but work is same. Transmissions of message. Example is a substance P. Substance P is also known as a neurotransmitters, but substance C, that is substance P, it does not synthesize from the neuron, but like a neurotransmitter, it was involved in the transmissions of the impulses regarding the pain. Okay, regarding the pain information that was reaches to our brain from the site of the injury or the part of the organ to the brain. So that is the role of the substance P. So that's why the substance P is known as a neuromodulators, not a neurotransmitters. So here the neurotransmitters, so they are mainly categorized into two types: excitatory neurotransmitters and as well as the inhibited neurotransmitter. Okay, or some are the both. Excitatory means, so when they release, that organ functions can be increases, and such neurotransmitters are known as the excitatory neurotransmitter. Inhibitory means, so when they releases, where they releases, that organs, that brain part function, that was decreases. So that was known as the inhibitory neurotransmitters. So the various neurotransmitters are there, like adrenaline, it was helpful for fight or flight. Then noradrenaline, it is helpful for the concentrations of your brain or arousal. Then dopamine, it is helpful for the pleasure, it can give the happy to the you. Serotonin, it is helpful, is a neurotransmitter that regulate your mood. Okay, any abnormal in the serotonin means your mood can be abnormal. Okay, so then GABA, it is the calming, it might keep the silence to you. Okay, it can keep helpful for to silent you or calming to you. Then acetylcholine, it is also neurotransmitter, it is a involved in the learning. So whatever the memory power there, so that memory power was depending upon the acetylcholine. Glutamate, that is the, once again, that is the memory power, it can accelerate the memory power. Then endorphins, those are involved in the euphoria. So endorphins are nothing but these are special peptide synthesize the brain, it can helpful for to keep you in the excited, more happy. Okay, for example, dear students, think, so now you are in the stress, you are in the moodless, some saddy. Okay, so then you go for exercise, vigorously cardiac for 20 minutes, or you can go for dancing, what you like. Okay, so after dancing, so you, all your fatigue you can forget after dancing or after exercise. Certain sweating is occurs. So when you're taking the some glass of water, then after that you're feeling nothing worry about us. You're feeling freeless. There is a fatigues. There is no fatigue in the body. Your mood is elevated. Then your brain is telling like that we can go there, we can purchase something. We go there, you purchase, or you talk parents, you talk friends, you talk classmates, like that. You're thinking that was not euphoria. That was due to abolitions of the brain from the body. Those are known as the endorphins, and these endorphins always releases when we are going for the exercise. After exercise only these are religious more, and even by listening the good music or dancing, then also when you are happy, then the endorphins are religious. That's why the endorphins are known, also known as the happy hormones. So these are also one type of the neurotransmitters. So next one, we can go for the ventricles. So many time you heard the names, the ventricle. So this is also for also asked in the 2 marks. Okay, if the exams in the written type means, definitely we will be asked. If it is MCQ means, we can ask in the form of the MCQ. So in our board, in our brain, so we are having the mainly 4 ventricles. Okay, that is the two lateral in the both side. So two ventricles are present. So those are known as the lateral ventricles. They are two in number. One is present in the left hemisphere, another is present in the right hemisphere. So that is they are known as the lateral ventricles. That is a one and two, or one or two. Okay, so they are present in the both hemisphere. Then another one is a third ventricle. So this is present in the here. Then the in the brain stem. Okay, especially the third ventricles are RHS. Then the end, there is a near the cerebellum, or it can between the present between the brain stem or the pons and cerebellum, that is the fourth ventricle. So that's why our brain mainly consists of the 4 ventricles. There is a two lateral, one is a third, another is a fourth ventricles. So ventricle, they are filled with the fluid, so that fluid was known as the cerebrospinal fluid. This is also the relevant topic to the nervous systems. Next one is the cerebrospinal fluid. So those ventricle are the layer of the brain. So they are filled with the special type of fluid. That fluid was known as the cerebrospinal fluid, also written as the CSF. It is a clear fluid that surrounds the brain and spinal cord. Whatever the layer are present around the brain, there is a dura matter, arconate matter, subarconate matters, or pia matters. So there one cavity is there, subarconate region. So that region is filled with the fluid. So that fluid was known as the cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so it is an ultrafiltrate of blood plasma and is contained when the subarachnoid space and the central canal of the spinal cord. So when the blood is passes in the brain between these matters, so where this is the secreted or it is a process, that is ultrafiltration of the blood plasma of the brain. Okay, so next the total, the volume of CSF in adult ranges from 140 to 270 ml. So in an adult, so the volume of the cerebrospinal fluid, so that should be 140 to 270 ml. So volume of the ventricle is about 25 ml. So in the ventricle it is present only 25 ml remaining. So that was present between the subarachnoid face around the brain and as well as around the spinal cord. Okay, so cerebrospinal fluid is produced at the rate 0.2 to 0.7 ml per minute or 600 to 700 ml per day. That is the production rate of the cerebrospinal fluid, but it is present only 140 to 270 ml. Remaining will be drained to the our circulation or systemic circulations or cerebro circulations. So regarding the compositions of CSF, it is similar to our blood or plasma. It is also consist of the sodium more than the plasma. So you can see the comparisons between the plasma and cerebrospinal. It is also consists sodium, that is 150 microequivalent per liter. Then also consists of the potassium, it is a less in number as compared to plasma. It consists of calcium, it is also less in number. It consists of magnesium, it is a more in number. Then chloride is also more in number. Bicarbonate, that is also considered bicarbonate like a plasma. Then regarding the lactate is also present in the cerebrospinal fluid. Then phosphate, protein and glucose. So glucose is nearly to the our plasma glucose. So like the 60. The plasma is 795 and here it is 60. It is also consist of protein, that is the less in number but it is helpful. Okay, so this is the normal compositions of the CSF. It consists of sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride, bicarbonate, lactate, phosphate, protein, and glucose. So regarding functions, the CSF assists the brain providing the protections or nourishes the brain and as well as removal of the waste material. CSF also provides the hydromechanical protections of the neurotaxis through the two mechanisms. And first, CSF also acts as the shock absorber, crushing the brain against the skull. It can absorb the excess of shock during the working. So then it can prevent the damage of the blood vessels of the CNS. That is the regarding the cerebrospinal fluid. It will be asked in the 2 marks regarding the give what is CSF and give its composition, or what is CFF, it give its functions. Okay, and also MCQ we will be asked.